welcome to Whiskey Wednesday.
Wiki Wednesday. He's already been drinking.
No, not yet. I've been anticipating. I mean, hey, look at this. We've got 4 glasses of whiskey each in front of us. What the hell, man?
It's a budget bourbon blind that we're doing for y'all tonight. We brought 4 different whiskeys that are all under $25. And say that again. Oh, you're doing your model.
You keep going.
All under $25 in our market, in no particular order, and we don't know what the order is here, so we'll find that out at the end after we smell and taste and go through what we like and don't like. We got tasting notes ready for review. The bottles we have tonight are Wild Turkey 101 in our market, $21.99, and that you will find all 4 of these bottles across the United States, in most of Europe, and Japan too. So,
well, I don't think we have any international viewers yet.
Well,
I'm trying to get us.
my point is that, of course, these are all very, very readily available bottles. And then, of course, Wild Turkey is owned by Campari America. Okay. So you have a legacy. All of these are legacy distilleries owned by big corporations.
First, let me say hi right quick. First, Bubba Duncan, thank you for watching, brother. He's a brother from another mother. Lived down the street from me in East Point, Georgia when I was growing up. We both moved to Florida and became Gator fans. And Carmen is watching this too. Hey, Carmen. All right.
And Susie Q. Oh, that's Carmen.
Carmen.
That's Carmen. Hi, Carmen. And hi, Bubba.
So my granddaddy's favorite, Ancient Age.
Ancient Age. Fun fact about Ancient Age is a Buffalo Trace product. It is the same distillate and mash bill as Blanton's, which is one of their high-end single barrel products, but this one is obviously not aged as long or in the same rick houses. A fan favorite. Yeah. Lots of people like this. They think it's cool because of the wax dip bottle. Maker's Mark, owned by Beam Centauri. And this is a staple on almost everybody's home bar. I mean,
did you say Beam?
Beam, as in Jim Beam.
As in Jim Beam. Okay, I thought that's what I heard. I just wanted to make sure.
But it's kind of, Beam bought them, but hasn't changed anything. Nothing's changed, which is a nice thing. And yes, each bottle is hand dipped. A lot of people don't know that. And here, just so that you know, I should have pulled these out maybe in a different order. Well, our last bottle is Brown-Forman product, Old Forester. It's their 100 proof product. And again, Brown-Forman owns Jack Daniels, owns a couple other big distilleries, but Old Forester is a very old distillery. And matter of fact, I want to say Old Forester was one of the distilleries that was, microphones.
Yes. Right now, the phone is our microphone, so speak up a little bit while I get our actual microphones going. Aiden, plug that into the phone for me. Well, hold on. Wait until we get them on, because I don't want to kill the audio until then. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, okay. This was one of the continually running distilleries. It ran through Prohibition, and it distilled and bottled whiskey for medicinal purposes. So, we have...
Now, wait. You got to say that right. Medicinal purposes.
Yes.
That was the way my granddaddy said it back in the century.
Less officer.
Less. Okay, who's yours?
All right.
It's on you. I think we just hold it down, right?
Well, it's seeking. Did you turn that on?
No. Okay, now put it in there. As technical difficulties, we have our techs back here, Aiden and Gio. And by the way, let's thank Betty too for
camera's moving.
Huh?
I guess I bumped the camera.
I see it now. Betty was our pourer tonight. There we go. There we go. Now we actually are live, and you got it live over there. I've got it live right here, and hopefully everybody can actually hear us now. We can speak at a normal volume.
Okay, let's just do a quick review.
All right.
All right, so the bottles that we have, Wild Turkey 101 from the Russell Distillery in Kentucky, 101 proof. Matter of fact, here, we'll do it this way. That's 101 proof. Old Forester 100. It's a Brown-Forman product. Old Forester, one of the oldest continually running distilleries in the United States. Maker's Mark is a 90 proof product owned by Beam Suntory. Everybody, I mean, you'll find this in every. If there's a liquor store in the United States without this, I'd be shocked.
Right.
Okay. And to just reiterate, everything here under $25. The most expensive one at $23.99 was the Old Forester that I paid. $21.99 for the Wild Turkey. $23.99 for the Makers. And I found this in our market at one store, and it was, brace yourselves, under $20. Well under $20.
There you go.
So, and a little fun fact in case you didn't hear this the first time, this is the same, this is a Buffalo Trace product. It's the same distillate as their Blanton's Single Barrel, which is a high-end, that is a whiskey lover's favorite. Now, and we'll do Blanton's at one point. Okay. I have a nice, they are single barrels, so if you get a really good barrel, it's a really good whiskey, and I have a good barrel, so that's our lineup, 80, 90, 100, 101 proof. So we got lots of different proof points, everything under $25. You cannot go wrong with any one of these products if you're just getting started in drinking whiskey and you're joining us. And by the way, thank you to everybody that's decided to join us once again.
Which, by the way, we have a couple of new ones. Aiden Duncan is watching. One of our techs is over here watching live. And Michelle Miller has come in also.
Nice. So, thanks for showing up.
Thank you all for showing up.
Now,
we're just about to get started with the blind here.
Yeah. So here's what we're doing with this blind. We have no idea which is which here.
Right. Betty poured it for us. We had our assistants over here make references and everything. We have A, B, C, and D in front of each one of us.
And we're going to make our own tasting notes, and then we'll compare notes kind of as we go. Like, What are you getting from this? What are you getting from that?
Right.
Maybe we'll take a swag at what we think they are.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've done blinds before, and man, it's shocking.
You have the advantage on me here, seriously, because out of these four, I've only ever had two of them. In other words, obviously one of them is Ancient Age.
Well, yeah.
And it's one that I've had all my life, or, well, at least smelled all my life. So let's put it that way.
Well, you should be able to pick that out then.
Right.
Would be my guess.
I should be able to pick that. If I can't, I'm going to be disappointed.
Well, here's the other thing is with Buffalo Trace, is when you smell the Buffalo Trace product, you immediately just will, once you get trained, your nose gets trained to it, you'll say, oh, this is a Buffalo Trace product. Okay. Might not know what it is.
Right.
But that's their smell.
At the time that I started smelling it, 50 years ago, it wasn't Buffalo Trace at that time. It was its own thing, right?
That's true.
Right. The only other one that I've ever had was Maker's Mark, and honestly, I've probably only ever done a shot of that.
And here, it won't surprise me. I know if I had to guess which one I will pick as the best, I could guess one, but it won't surprise me if I'd guess completely wrong too. Okay. So, without further ado, let's
have at it.
Let's dive in.
All right.
So A.
Kind of sweet.
Yeah, confectioner's sugar.
I'm going to be honest with you here. First impression of this one?
Astringent.
And you know what? I'm not going to say that early. Never mind. I'm going to hold that back. What in the hell is you Oh, squishing it around.
Getting oxygen on it.
Instead of, I got you. Okay. I just never seen you actually roll it around on a table. Then again, we normally don't have a table out here.
That's true. So. This is, and hey, we need some comments. Do you like the table setup more rather than the folding card table chairs.
Kelly Anderson, my old drum leader from Hateville High School, is watching.
Well,
Kelly,
Kelly,
thank you
thanks
for
for
stopping
coming in.
tonight. All right, well,
Cheers, man.
cheers to Whiskey Wednesday. Still got the sweet. Little smoky.
Little smoky, brown sugar.
All right. So, yeah, for our blind tonight, we have Jack Daniels glasses.
Yeah, if y'all didn't join us last week, we were drinking Jack and Coke as a tribute to Mike's mom because it was her birthday
Right.
on last Wednesday. So, well,
And with Kelly here, Kelly, she was the former Hateville High School drum major. All right, we're going for B.
yeah.
Hang on, I got to get that out of my mouth. It's kind of strong. It's staying.
Yeah, that's one thing.
All right.
Clear that palate a little bit. If you put a gun to my head and make me guess, that smells like Buffalo Trace.
Really? See,
Oh, absolutely. That just smells. It's
you may be getting the Buffalo Trace. Here's what I wasn't going to pull on that first one. That first one, I've already made my note already. I think that's
Oh.
the ancient age.
okay. Could be too.
Just the aroma, especially. And remember, I said I've been drinking it most of my life and smelling it all my life. Well, what's one of the most powerful receptors of memory?
Absolutely.
So I
Absolutely.
think out of these four, that's going to pull it before even the taste will with ancient age. I think.
You could be,
Just a guess.
and you could be right. That's just my guess. I
Could be
see.
way the hell off too.
I go on. Yeah, that's the funnest part about this.
But this is not ancient age. That smells more like ancient age to me. Not ancient age. That's
See, now it's funny. That tastes like ancient age to me.
does it?
Yeah, because it's thin. Because it's only a 2-year-old whiskey.
Okay. I still think the first one
Okay.
is
Hey,
my particular. Yeah.
that's just my guess. But here's what people don't get.
Trying to figure out what I'm getting out of that.
If
I'm going to compare.
Oh yeah, no, that's part of the process here. That just smells like the Buffalo Trace Rickhouses to me.
Still going to say that one. Okay, Bubba, he's toasting us with a pour of Dewar's 15 over
Oh, nice.
there. Cheers, sir. Back to my guess here. See, there again, I don't know enough about the three of them to make a great guess at it, but I'm going to hold back on that one for a minute. But
I'll circle my guesses. We'll
tones
see.
I'm getting out of it. There's something very interesting in the back of that.
Yeah, it's honey. There's honey in that.
Okay.
And it smells like
Our
honey too.
assistants have just passed us the answer key over here. It is not open. It's not sealed, you see. They should have done that.
Well, that doesn't matter.
But that's my first touch of it right there. I'm putting it right there. Well, here.
Yeah,
on the
just
table.
put it on the table.
Down. There we go. All right. It's got a very, the only way I can describe it is a very warm taste to it compared to the other one. A little more depth. You know what I mean?
You know, this one. All right, I'm moving on to C. Now see, oh, nice color on that. Nice amber color. You know, it's interesting to
You know what, I didn't
compare
think
those
about that.
colors.
Yeah, I didn't even think about looking at them. And you're right, this one is lighter.
Well, you obviously liked the first one.
Yes, I did. I like the second one too.
Yeah, here's the thing that's kind of cool about
Medicine-y.
all of these are good. Really, you can't if you went out and bought just one of these bottles because okay, I'm gonna take the dive and I want to join these guys for cocktails next week, which we're gonna make the grandfather of all cocktails. It's the first cocktail recipe known to exist. It was in the late 1800s. It was created, and we'll leave it at that.
All right, leave it at that. So, medicine-y.
For C.
You know that blue stuff? Not the stuff at the barbershop, but the stuff at the doctor's
Oh
office.
my God. You're smelling the alcohol.
Yeah, yeah. And that's not an offense to it at all. It's not entirely unpleasant. I don't mean it that way.
Oh, I like
I'm gonna
this.
try your thing to
This
get
is
some oxygen.
this is a. I think I know what this one
I
is.
don't know what I'm doing over here. Thank you, Betty, for assisting us.
That's smooth. Very
It
smooth.
is.
Very viscous. Boy, it coats your tongue.
Tastes totally different from the aroma in my opinion.
Oh, very much so. I agree.
It's got that
Sweet.
sweet, creamy,
Yes.
and B had that too, the creamy undertone to it. It's the only way I can really describe it. I don't know exactly. I'm obviously, for those of you who are watching, you've probably figured this out, but I'm kind of a novice at this. Pardon me on the microphone.
Hey, you got to
and
start
Scott-
somewhere.
But Scott has introduced me to this through our Whiskey Wednesdays that we did leading up to our little cast.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
You know, last week we said we've been doing Whiskey Wednesday for, 2 or 3 or 4 years.
Right.
We've been doing
Overall.
Whiskey Wednesday for like
It's closer to 7 years that we've
7
been
or
doing
8.
something on
Wednesday nights.
Right, even if it wasn't whiskey. And it started out with the wine and sushi at Lucky's, and then went to beer at Winn-Dixie. You know, both grocery stores had a little bar in the place. It was the Lucky's Shop and Sip, I think it was. They were kind of cool. They had the shopping carts that had the little cup
Yes,
holders
they
in
had
it.
a cup. You could walk around with drinking beer while
Drinking
you're.
your beer, they had it on
while you're-
tap, you know.
Yeah, it was
or,
nice.
or they had wine too.
And it was
they
very
had fresh
inexpensive.
sushi,
We would go there and get a slice of pizza
and a beer.
and a beer for I think it was $4.
Yeah, it was 4 or 5.
$4 or $5.
Right. And even on the nights that we chose to do the wine and sushi, before that, it was only like $7 for that.
Yeah.
Because it was like $3 a glass of wine and then $4 for the sushi. And it was like, man, that's a deal right there. See, the thing is, on the other ones here, I have no point of reference as to which one they might be.
Well, it doesn't. It's okay. Just make your tasting notes, and then you're just going to say which one you like the most
Yep.
at the end, and we'll just rank them.
Right.
Just rank what
Try to-
what you like the most, what you like the least. I mean, again, there's no wrong answer.
Right, right.
With every one of these bottles, there's no wrong answer, folks.
Tammy and Charles, welcome to the show. Tammy has been with us before. She went to school with me, and her mother went to school with my mom.
Oh, small. I said
Right.
small world, right?
Right? And then Charlie Boyle used to be the security guy for a Payless shoe source when I worked for them. So he would go around when we did the inventory.
So he's a local guy.
He's from Florida,
Okay.
but he's a Falcons fan. Go Falcons! What do they say now? Rise up? I don't know. I don't follow NFL anymore. Go Gators! Had to sneak that in from Gainesville, Florida, down here. I'm falling behind too.
No, I'm still on C.
Tammy, that's okay. You can always catch the beginning of it on the recasts, which are available for 30 days on the Facebook Live. and also on
YouTube.
which we haven't even mentioned yet. We're trying to get to 50
Hey,
subscribers, and we haven't even mentioned the damn
What
thing.
you know? What I noticed today though, we have 11 subscribers.
We have 13 now.
We have 13 subscribers. Holy crap!
Lucky 13! Go to our YouTube now and subscribe, please. That's at Whiskey, WED Live on YouTube. Bubba, go Gators. Give us a chomp out there, man. And send us your pictures of you drinking whiskey with us to whiskey, WED Live at gmail.com. And we'll post them on the Facebook page for you, too. Or you can post them yourself. Yeah, Tammy, over on YouTube, I've actually started setting it up in podcast format. So when you go there, you'll see the whole list of them right at the bottom with each of the titles and dates that they ran and everything. And it's the full unedited broadcast at this point. I'm probably going to go back at some point and try to do a little more editing or something.
Yeah, you know what?
I taste the wood in that, but I can't figure out what wood it is. The barrel. So I'm going to...
Oh, I know what it is already. Just smelling it. If I had to guess, I'll probably guess wrong. That's the thing. That's the crazy thing with these damn blinds.
That's the fun part about it, is you and I have no clue what we're actually drinking except for that. You know. No. You said something a couple of weeks ago when we did Rare Breed. Episode 3, by the way. Scott texted me something rare this week, and we did Wild Turkey Rare Breed.
Which is
You mentioned
one of my favorite bottles.
Well, you mentioned the aromas and tastes.
The funk. Are you getting the funk out of that?
Not exactly. Oh, Charlie, you're in Atlanta now. Sweet. So he moved up there with the Falcons. You said Thanksgiving.
You're getting Thanksgiving out of D?
I'm getting Thanksgiving out of D.
I'm thinking that D is 101.
But the thing
it
is,
could be A.
To me, historically, Thanksgiving is ancient age, which I still believe.
Is A. Yeah, no, your
You know
nose.
what? Now that I've gone through all 4 of them.
You're right. So you got to go back, and it's like, okay. I mean, I already know which one I like the most.
Each of the 3 of these has something that this one does not. But that's also what's making me think it's ancient age. This is the one that pulls that family smell to me out of it. But at the same time, this has the D has the other. So I'm going to go with 101 for D.
I agree with you on that. Because I just wrote down smoky cinnamon graham crackers.
Now, I have a question about Maker's Mark. It's not a bourbon, it's a rye, right?
No. It's a wheater.
A wheater, okay.
A wheater, which means it has typically out of bourbons, most bourbons are corn, rye, and malted barley. A wheater will have wheat in it. Okay?
Right.
Rather than, sometimes it'll be a 4-grain wheater, so it'll have rye and wheat. Sometimes it will have rye, wheat, and malted barley, but always corn. Corn. That's where the majority of the alcohol comes from corn, but the majority of the flavor comes from the barrel.
We're going to have to do moonshine one week. Now, keep in mind, we do this in the middle of the week. I don't know about that. Dude, I really don't know because of my points of reference on that.
Again, it's hard for you to guess. It's hard for you to guess.
I'm going to take a wag.
But I would tell you just, which one do you like the most? the more I smell this, and I had a feeling.
I hear you, Carmen. She likes moonshine. I gotta say, A is my favorite, and I think it's Ancient Age. And I think it's my favorite because it's that home taste, you know.
Well,
it
is.
and
It's
if A isn't Ancient Age, I'm gonna be really pissed off at myself. Let's put it that
Don't
way.
be pissed off at yourself.
No, seriously.
Because I have done enough of these. I haven't done a lot, but I've done enough to know that all my guesses are probably wrong. That's how many times I've done this.
I'm probably wrong as hell, but we'll see.
But smelling and I'm in a dog fight right now.
I'm resisting the urge to hold up these damn bottles and compare the colors. That's cheating, I know. Hey, this is fun. Let's see, which one is my favorite?
Boy, it's really tough. It's C or D for me.
You know what? I'm going to rank a second favorite because I think that this is Ancient Age. Nice. Good tone there.
Good.
This is very
You're right.
musical. Wait, listen.
You know, I think tonight my palate is just going with C. It just, if you don't like C, then don't like C. That's your palate. It's really coating my tongue really well. It's sweet. I think it's the makers.
I like all of them.
Oh,
Honestly. And
they're all really good.
and
That's
here's
the
the funny
thing.
part. I didn't think I was going to at this level because of the sipping that we've done and enjoying those really smooth, higher end whiskeys that you brought over a couple of times and that I've even gotten in on.
This is
twice myself, but
these are
these are nice sipping whiskeys.
yes. That's
I'm
the point.
surprised at that.
That's the point to this whole blind is for under $25. For under $25, if you're just getting into the whiskey world, okay, or you don't haven't tasted a lot of whiskeys, or you have, I always drink Crown Royal, or I always drink Jack Daniels, or I always drink Wild Turkey.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there like that. That's great. What the point to this blind is hey, all of these bottles they're very different proof points. They come from 4 different legacy distilleries, but they're all really good and they're all readily available. And we did hook, by the way. We said we had good news for whiskey drinkers.
Yes. What do you got for me?
There's a couple people that I follow, and I'm connecting some dots here. But there's a couple of fellas that they have a non-producing, they're a non-distilling producers. And there's a big label that makes very good whiskeys. They're blenders called Barrel Whiskey. I'm sure if you've been into liquor stores or supermarkets with liquor, you've seen Barrel Whiskey. They have more varieties than I couldn't tell you how many varieties of different bottles they have because it's more than I have digits. But they make really good whiskeys. But what's interesting is in the last month they have sold off a tremendous amount of their Rickhouse stock. They're selling one of their bottling lines and one of their production facilities is on the market. And from what I understand is the asking prices for those facilities and those barrels are a fire sale. So what is that? What am I pointing out? Well, the other thing that's interesting is there is a lot of unicorn bottles that are very hard to find, that are allocated, that are grossly overpriced because demand is so high for them. what's interesting is right all of a sudden in the last month, those bottles are not selling, and they're starting to see 2 or 3 months ago, the bottles that were $1,200 are all of a sudden $700.
Wow.
The bottles that were
I'm
$700.
never going to have that kind of money for a bottle of whiskey.
That would be for somebody that's a collector or has just money to burn
Right.
or whatever. And those people are out there.
One of these days, I'm going to shell out the money for a bottle of Macallan.
I will help you drink that. I'll be happy to help you drink that.
a
That's
toast-
my favorite scotch.
A toast to Neil Peart.
And we're doing B.
Yeah, sure.
Wrong hatch.
Yes.
See, you made me taste B again. B is, God, that's,
Here's the funny
I'm
part.
getting
I was
butterscotch. I'm getting butterscotch out of that now.
And see, that's
Confectioner
that's the
sugar
one
and
I made
butterscotch.
the most notes on over here. But I was actually reserving it for the last, and now after that, even coughing it gives you a little different appreciation for the taste. We're going to move that up one and go there. Okay. So I think we're ready for the reveal. We're a little over halfway through the program.
Okay,
as
I got to
as Buddy
do.
Manning said.
I got to do my 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, Bubba.
One.
Let's see. Bubba said, hey, Brenda.
2.
Brenda Woodfin. I've known that girl a long time. What, we were 16? Yep, something like that.
God dang.
Matter of fact, here, Pictures on the Wall. Dude,
Yeah.
you know the song
Oh
Pictures on the
yeah.
Wall?
Pictures on the wall.
Was written from a life experience several years after the fact.
Okay.
Okay? Let's just say that person just came in.
Oh, interesting.
So, okay. And she knows that already, too.
Brenda.
So, yeah. At the time, I knew her as Gail.
Oh, hi, Gail.
But anyway, whatever. She's Brenda now. It's Brenda Gale. She goes by Brenda.
I get it. That's my daughter used to be Katie.
Right.
Now it's Grace
Oh, I
because her
remember
real
that.
name is Grace. So
Right? So, yep, she says, yep, 16. So, Brenda, I don't know if you remember that. Pictures on the Wall, also available on my personal YouTube in the Rough and Ready live stuff. I think I linked to it.
that's
a
my
couple of weeks
favorite.
ago.
That's Brenda. Not for nothing, but that's my favorite song that he's done. So
That was, well, several years of perspective to write that particular tune. I came up with the chord progression for it and like the first line, and then from that point it kind of went, okay, well, let's just put a little life experience into it. You know, the whole
it's
side
got
of that.
great.
And the
you've
second
heard me.
verse.
Yeah, you've heard
is
me say
actually
this.
a direct reference.
Yeah, you've heard me say this. The lyrics are great.
Thank you.
I mean, the time signature is a pretty basic time signature, but the chord progression is. I like the chord progression.
It's
That's
very
one of the
basic.
things to see that I hear.
Here's the funny part. Chord-wise, it's my least favorite song of my own originals because it's kind of boring to play. It's very
But
simple.
it's because it's a ballad.
It's simplistic,
Yeah.
as far as that goes. But that's kind of what makes it, for lack of a better term, because obviously 30 years after the fact, it never made it anywhere.
But see,
that's what makes it commercial.
that's the
it's catchy.
That's the song. That's the song where everybody needs
you,
to
Brenda.
slow down and take a break in the middle of your concert, in the middle of a set,
Right.
and it just slows you down.
Slow
Everybody
down to the bar,
gets a chance to catch their breath.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh hell! What a hit!
No, you didn't hit Alice. You hit a picture.
Okay.
You hit a picture. We're talking about pictures on the wall.
Pictures on the wall. Yep. It's my Rush Power Windows. Hang on just a
And
second.
it caught a nail.
You know
Why
what?
don't you stand up and
I
turn
am
around
doing
so it doesn't
exactly
break?
that, but I'm trying not to tip this over because despite what it looks like, it's really small. Well, that'll work for now. I'll find that later. There we go.
All right, good.
Don't
All right,
get
so are
handwriting.
you ready for your reveal and my reveal?
Yeah, let's go for it here. Okay, so
Okay. Well, what's your order before we find out
my
what
favorite,
they were?
My favorite was A.
Okay, move it forward.
Okay.
That's D.
Yes, it is.
Thank-
How many glasses of whiskey do
Come
we have
on,
in front
cut
of
them
us?
off. Cut them off.
Okay. A. That was my favorite.
My favorite was C.
Okay. Guess let's move the waters back too. We definitely need a tablecloth next time.
Yeah.
We're still getting everything together, trying to get our set and everything. I do too, and I might even be able to.
Well, you got to say the
Pull it out of
questions.
the old brain.
Nobody else sees the question.
Brenda says, I still remember the first song you wrote for me, and it was called Can I Hold You Tonight? And yeah, I could probably still play that too. I haven't played it.
I think you could
that one I
probably.
haven't played it in
I think you
decades.
probably play all your songs. Yeah.
Oh, there's some of them I could barely remember right now.
All right. What's your number 2?
Number 2 is D.
Oh, my number 2 also. D.
And your first one was C?
Huh.
That's funny.
My third is A,
My third is B.
and my fourth was B.
And my fourth is C.
Hey,
Favorite.
my favorite. That's okay.
All right, so
Let's see what they
do
were.
the honors, sir. And the winner
Dun,
of the
dun,
Oscar
dun,
is...
dun, 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 dun.
Move the water bottles.
Oh,
please,
I'm not
she says.
surprised at all. Not one bit. Okay. You were. What was your favorite?
Ancient Age.
No. What was your favorite?
A.
A. Maker's Mark was A.
A is Maker's Mark. Holy crap. Dude, seriously. I had... Okay. All right.
Okay. What was your second favorite?
My second was D.
D.
And I think I know which one that is.
Old Forester.
No. Okay, I'm wrong.
What was your next favorite?
B.
B.
Right? By the way, C
Ancient Age.
was his... Okay, Ancient... Really?
And your last one
I'm blown away. Wild Turkey 101.
was Wild Turkey 101.
And your favorite was Wild Turkey 101.
And it doesn't surprise me at all. Okay.
What'd you have down for it?
So for
What was your C, your first favorite?
C, okay, was my number 1. My number 1 was Wild Turkey, and my notes on it were sweet, viscous, smooth, proofy, but I thought it was Maker's Mark.
Dude, your notes put me to shame over here. I'm not even giving mine.
All right. My second was D, which is Old
Betty's
Forester.
watching too, by the way.
Okay. My second one was D, Old Forester. Old Forester I put in smoky, cinnamon, graham crackers.
Graham crackers, okay. See, I got to get my palate to the point where I can pull this shit out of it because I'm.
You know, the other thing I should put on there, and it's really reserved on this particular bottle, but there's like a hint of cherry in there too, but I didn't write it down. What was my next one was A. Mm-hmm. A was Makers.
It was Makers.
And my notes there, I thought that was Old Forester, and I said, I don't know what the hell that says. Smoky and sweet.
He's talking about cutting me off and he can't write it down.
Smoky and sweet.
Hey, Devin, how are you? Devin Fry, the daughter of Chris Sanderland, bass player for Laughing House.
Oh, cool. And then B was my last pick, which was Ancient Age.
Okay. So your least favorite was that one.
But you know what? It just goes to show you. I guessed. Now, here.
Okay, so this was actually Ancient Age. A
is Makers.
A is Makers.
B was Ancient Age.
C was...
No, I got Ancient Age right.
Okay.
I circled that
I
one.
didn't get a damn one right.
C I thought was Makers, and D I thought was 101. So I got those two backwards.
No, well, here's the funny part is I got both of the ones backwards. So I got Maker's Mark and Ancient Age backwards. I got 101 and Old Forester's backwards.
I am a little bit surprised at my results because I really thought that this was, and this should tell you something. one of the reasons I thought that my winner, it doesn't surprise me that my winner was Wild Turkey at all, because I really like, there's not a Russell's product that I have ever disliked. And we're going to have a Russell's product in the not too distant future, because I learned something this week that is, and I'll share it right now. Wild Turkey, their most infamous rick houses are called the Camp Nelson. Okay. Well, they put out a product right now that is a single barrel product that's called, it's got a gold label, and now it's escaping me. Wild Turkey. I can't think of the name of it now. But it has on the label, it will tell you what rick house it comes from. So if it's like a CF or a CN or a CB, or CN, it'll say CN, like CN something. CN. CN stands for Camp Nelson. Okay. So if you walk into a liquor store and we should look that up quick.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have access to the keyboard. The way we've got things set up. You're all good. Kids are getting pizza over here. So, we hope you've enjoyed the blind taste part of this. The rest of this is pretty much our normal bullshit for a little while, which is, kind of fun sometimes too. We will remind you again to check out our YouTube channel, and please subscribe when you get a chance. That's at Whiskey WED Live, and you can also email us at whiskeywedlive@gmail.com. So next week, now you kind of teased the cocktail that we're going to be doing next week. Do you know which whiskey we're going to be doing it with yet?
Well,
because for the next 4 weeks, just to set this up while you're looking up.
Oh God, it's asking me what my age is and everything. It doesn't matter. It's the only gold label that's out there right now. If you're gonna go, it's about a $60 bottle. It's worth $120. I mean, it's if you get a Camp Nelson CN, it'll give you the date it was bottled. There's handwriting on the label.
Right.
It's got a gold main label. It's a Wild Turkey product. I just can't think of what it is. It's escaping me right now, which is kind of crazy.
Oh boy.
We'll feature that, because if I'm sure
Too much tonight, right?
I'm sure that if, as I'm making the rounds, I'll hunt one of those bottles and find a Camp Nelson bottle. Because it seems to me, rick houses are what stores the barrels and what ages the whiskey, and they move the barrels up and down the floors, usually annually or semi-annually. It seems to me that the Camp Nelson product is getting to the age point where they need to turn that rick house over. So if they're turning that section of their rick houses over, whatever product they're putting it out to, so I'm going to guess that the Russell single barrels, which never ever disappoint, or their Private Select single barrels, never ever disappoint, that if we're going to get some of that whiskey out of Camp Nelson, the Russells are going to be putting out hitters into the market. Right. So, and hopefully, there's signs of price deterioration in the market. It would be great if we get those, like Rare Breed is a good example. Right. Rare Breed, when it first came out, it was a $40 bottle. Now it's a $60 bottle. Right. But it's only 4 years ago that it was a $40 bottle.
Well, that's...
I know part of it is what's going on, and we're going to leave that alone.
The things we don't talk about on Whiskey Wednesday.
Yeah.
But now but a good example, Ancient Age. For years here in Florida, I've paid $18.99 to $22.99 for it.
Yeah.
Right. I found this in Dillard recently for $12.99. Dillard, Georgia. When we went on vacation, we went up to Dillard, and you can still see the little price tag right on top here. If you zoom in, I'm sure I'm not bringing it up there, but it does say $12.99, does it not?
Yes, it does.
And he found it for $15.99 locally, but he only found it one place, and I've historically had a hard time finding Ancient Age.
But here's what's crazy, though. You can buy a handle of that everywhere in this market for like, now a handle is 1.75 liters. Okay, where these are all 750 milliliters.
Right. So we're talking the big boy.
The big boy, a handle, and it's only
That one.
it's only $25. So I mean, that's a good whiskey. So I mean, I don't know if you want to go out and buy a handle, but if you want to
Right.
drink a lot of cocktails or you just want to,
Well, here's the funny part. I had a handle at home when I bought this in Dillard because I keep Ancient Age.
because that's your heritage.
I won't call it my daily because I don't drink daily. I really just drink weekly now, mostly with you. But if I do have one on the weekend or something like that, I'll do a bourbon and Coke or something like that with them. With a Ancient Age.
So, anyways, which whiskey are we going to use next week?
Yeah, that's where I was headed with that. Which whiskey are we going to use next week for the? Is it going to be a secret? Or are you going to let us know so we can put the recipe?
Well,
out
it's the
there?
granddaddy of all cocktails.
Okay. 18 something.
18 something.
I'm going to take a wild guess.
It's a very simple cocktail.
It's not going to be the one that we've done already.
No.
Okay.
There you
That
go. That
so
came
it's not
out.
a Manhattan.
That came out in the in the middle of the 1920s, I believe.
Brenda says hi, Betty. Oh, okay.
It doesn't surprise me that you like that.
Well, yeah, that's so funny because, like
And
I
you
said,
swore that was Ancient Age.
I swear it was Ancient Age number one. Number two, I really thought Makers was probably going to be my least favorite of the four. And here it turned out being my most favorite of the four.
You know,
And Ancient Age ended up where? What was it? B?
Ancient Age was Jiminy Crickets.
You got the key right there.
There's the key. Ancient Age was B.
Ancient Age was B. Ancient Age was my third choice, not my first.
Okay, you're learning something about yourself. Stop complaining.
It's too hot for the hat now. I know I go by Hatter, but occasionally I have to ditch this thing.
Hey, we're two bald buddies enjoying loquacious. What was it? Libation.
Loquacious libations on a Wednesday night.
There you go.
Alliteration from your lyricist over here.
I'm just, you know what?
Which whiskey are we using?
Ancient Age.
Okay, Ancient
And the
Age
region
for
for an old fashioned.
an old fashioned. There we go. You know what? I just had a conversation with somebody this evening about an old fashioned. Somebody that works at one of the labs that I do deliveries with and everything. I won't go too much into my work, but
Yep, I get it.
somebody was telling about Whiskey Wednesday today, and she mentioned that her and her husband like old fashions the most. So I'll be sure and talk to her tomorrow and let her know.
That's
Then
the
gonna do an
cocktail we're going to
old-fashioned
feature.
next week.
We're
Ancient Age.
we're going to do that because, and the reason for that is of the cocktails that I have in my mind, the least diluted cocktail is the old fashioned. It's mostly booze.
Nice. Okay.
So say it's
for
mostly
80 proof
whiskey.
or lighter whiskey, that's actually a good
But
one to do.
but the flavor will really pull through.
Right.
Because the only thing that I mean, we'll pour it over a rock. It's it's on the rocks. And an old fashioned is basic. The way that you make it, and I'm not going to make it this way.
There we go again. I got to get used to this small set, yo.
Yeah, you got to quit.
Quit fidgeting, right?
Maybe you should sit over here.
Possibly, because you don't flail quite
I
as
don't.
much as I do.
I don't talk with my hands.
I'm knocking shit down over here. All right.
Yeah, no. The way that you make an old fashioned, the traditional way or the original way, is you take a sugar cube, put it in the bottom of the glass you're going to make it in, and then you put bitters on top of that, and then you muddle. You muddle, and I have a muddler. I have a whole bar set. We could do this way. We'd have to get sugar cubes.
Right.
You muddle that sugar cube. Then you drop your ice in. Then you stir the whiskey on ice, strain it over an ice with the sugar in it, and then cocktail cherry, which I'm going to get real cocktail cherries.
Instead of the little Publix maraschino cherries
Yes.
that I have in there, right?
And then you enjoy that. And the way that this drink was originally designed is because it's a sugar cube, not all the sugar gets dissolved right away. So as the drink goes lower and lower and lower, it gets sweeter and sweeter and sweeter.
Right.
I
Plus,
don't.
This sugar soaks up that alcohol too, I'm sure.
Well, I don't like making it that way. The way that I'm going to make it is the way that I learned to make it when I was a kid. Now, here, I grew up.
You were a kid?
Yes, when I was a kid.
Hey, I can't say anything because I learned to make a Manhattan when I was a kid just by watching.
My parents drank Old Fashions as one of their favorite drinks. So I learned to make a Wisconsin Old Fashioned because that's where I'm from. That's where I grew up. I ski-daddled out of there when I was 18, and I've been back 4 times. Now, a Wisconsin Old Fashioned is a little different. Okay. What they do is they take it's made with an orange, and typically an Old Fashioned is an orange peel, and then you express the oil, and then rim the glass with it and stick that into it.
So you're going to make it a Wisconsin Old Fashioned?
No, I'm not, because I don't personally like it that way. But a Wisconsin Old Fashioned, you go to Wisconsin, you order an Old Fashioned, you're going to see them do this. They're going to take a cocktail cherry and put it in the bottom of the glass. They're going to take a little chunk of orange with the rind and the meat on it and put that in there. Then they're going to muddle that. Okay?
Okay.
Then they're going to put in a splash of club soda. Then they're going to put in simple syrup. Then they're going to put in the whiskey. And then they're going to put in, the rocks. And then they're going to put in the whiskey. And then they're going to squeeze that orange and rim the glass and put it in and give it a stir and give it to you.
Okay.
That's a Wisconsin Old Fashioned. I don't like that because it's a very muddy drink because they muddle the fruit. And
Right.
I think that's a mistake. So the way that I like to make them, and because I went to school there also, but
Right.
is you take a chunk of orange, put it in the glass, simple syrup, stir your whiskey on the rocks, put your ice cube, and we can use your big ice cube balls, or we can use my square rocks. You pour it over, cocktail cherry in, express the orange oil, rim the glass, put it in, give it a shake, drink her down. That's a typical Old Fashioned. I like using and it's the simple syrup is whatever that sugar is. That's
Cane syrup.
No,
Teasing. I know better.
I can't think of what it's called, but it's the sugar with it's like cane sugar. You use cane sugar, and to make your simple syrup, it's 2 parts of sugar, 1 part of water boiled down, and left. So you get a rich syrup out of that.
Right.
It's got better flavor to the cocktail.
So next week, Old Fashions with Ancient Age. We are, look at that, right at 1 hour, 9:30 on the dot.
Well, that's crazy. But you know what? This has been a gas. This has been a lot of fun.
I've enjoyed this, and I look forward to more blinds.
Yeah, well, I think
Themed blinds.
We'll
That's
do
gonna be
themed
fun.
blinds. I can see us doing a 10-year blind
Okay.
because I've got some 10-year bottles. I can see us doing single barrel blind.
All right.
That'll be very good, and that'll be a real wide variety because some single barrels I have are barrel proofs, so
Bottle in bond.
we can do a bottle and bond blind. That'll be a really good.
We talked about last week that Jack has a bottle in bond now.
Yes,
Wasn't that
Jack
one?
has a bottle and bond, and you know what? The bottle that I wanted to find for tonight's blind, it is in Florida. I found out because I called a distributor that I know that's local, and they don't carry that particular product. But Barton's, very old Barton's, which makes 1792, that's their flagship product.
Okay.
They have a bottle and bond that I really wanted to get for this blind because it's a $15 bottle that is a $60 bottle slayer.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're going to have to check that out for sure.
yeah. So that would be one of them.
I've actually got something special for us to try at some point, too, that I previewed for you last week a little bit. And it kind of dovetails in with the new kitten we're getting this week.
Oh, yes.
Poor Scott over here is the sage is allergic to cats, and we have one already, and we're about to get another. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, well, no, I just take 2 antihistamines before I come
There you
over.
go. But anyway, Kitty's name is Jameson.
Yeah, that's so I've heard. An Irish cat.
But I have in here, again, we're going to try to focus on some budget type things rather than going high end because we're budget guys. I mean, we're not,
I mean, I have
floating
some,
cash over here by any means.
there's a lot of lists too out there. A lot of people are doing. If you watch any whiskey on the Whiskey Tube,
Right.
which reminds me, when we put our stuff up on YouTube, you got a hashtag Whiskey Tube,
Okay.
so it gets a bigger distribution
I will
into
do
that
that.
community.
All right.
There's a lot. There's lists out there like your 5. They'll be like, what's your 5 bourbon, special occasion bourbon, best friend bourbon, everyday drinker, people you hate come over to your house. What do you pour on?
Rebel Yell.
Corn, mellow corn.
Breathing fire over here.
So, and we'll do some. I think we should come up with our own list. Now there was something very funny that I just. There's a cat out there that's got a YouTube channel called ADHD Whiskey. His name's Matt Porter. He is a character and a half, and there is one of these list things going around the Whiskey Tube right now. And what's funny is his pick was, his first one was, what's your everyday drinker? He goes, oh, Wild Turkey 101. Now he works for Barrel King of Kentucky, okay? And he won a contest and he's got an amazing palate. I've learned a lot from him if you want to learn from somebody. Well, all 5 of his picks were, special pour, blah, 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 blah. It was everything was whiskey was 101, 101, 101, 101, which I laughed at. It was very funny.
Well, you've actually turned me on to a couple of channels this week of some of the other bourbon.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Type
channels
things.
that I have been watching for quite a while. I mean, I've enjoyed whiskey, and I said this before on this podcast or broadcast. My first taste of whiskey came at 12 years old, fishing with my grandfather. That's when I first chewed tobacco, and I chummed for the fish that we were.
Right.
And my grandfather was
Pardon me,
my dad's father. What's interesting is you look back at that generation, and my dad's father was my dad's side of the family, blue collar, man's man. I mean, he graduated the 6th grade, he was a master welder and a mason. So, but he was a man's man. I mean,
Right.
But then my mother's side of the family, very sophisticated, very educated people. Well, I look at what they drank. My grandfather, my dad's dad, okay, he was a whiskey drinker. He drank Old Granddad. That was his thing. Old Granddad, bottle and bond.
Appropriate.
When we would go up to the lake, there was always a bottle of that. If we wanted to get drunk, we could get drunk. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now my mother's parents were gin drinkers.
All right.
And my
Pine tree.
well, it's funny because I've said on this show before. I said, well, we'll make Negronis. Growing up, now Negroni is made with gin. Okay. It's made with gin, sweet vermouth, and Campari. Now, if you substitute whiskey for the gin, it's called a Boulevardier. And I personally like the Boulevardier a lot more than I do the Negroni. So we'll be making Boulevardiers coming up.
All right. Very good.
Yeah, I think that's so funny.
That is so funny. That was my 3rd choice. And you were dead on about the color and everything. Because you said it was a light whiskey. And you called that one.
Yeah, I did call it. And
how many did you call? Just that one?
no, here, let's see. I got A wrong. I got
You got B right.
B right. I got C wrong. That was my favorite. I thought that was Makers. and I thought D was 101. And
Okay, so you got one. I got 0.
yeah, but see, that doesn't. I wouldn't have been surprised if I got none right.
For those of the
It just doesn't surprise me that I like the 101 because I like the Russell's lineup so much.
for those of you from Russell High School, I got a 0 as big as a goose egg. Well, homage to Mr. Chamberlain. Of course, I can't say it right. I don't remember the accent the way you used to say it and everything, but I'm sure some of you still can remember exactly how he used. I'm going to give you a 0 as big as a goose egg. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
And
That's
he was
what
like,
this.
he was like 90 at that time.
Oh my God. Every high school. We're going way over this week, but every high school doesn't every high school have
Okay, we went over last week. too.
a really old teacher?
Yeah.
I got to tell you a story.
Okay.
This is crazy.
Tell all of us.
We had a very old teacher. Certainly at retire. She was at retirement age when I was a senior. As a matter of fact, I think she retired the following year. And when you're 18, 17, 18 years old, I mean, somebody that's 65 that's really
Ancient,
old.
right.
Yeah, they're ancient.
The
Okay.
hell, we're ancient.
Yes.
them.
Correct.
My kid upstairs just turned 16.
Well, what's funny is I had a friend of mine. Well, I mean, I went to I grew up in a fairly small town. So my class size was fairly small, but so everybody was kind of friends. You know, everybody knew everybody. Mm-hmm. I had a friend. His name was Mark Wilson. He had an uncanny, stupid human trick. Okay. He could take his eyelids and turn them inside out.
Oh my God. I knew a guy who could do that.
So he would do like this. He would pop.
Looked like something out of a horror movie.
Well, he hits me one day in class and he goes, "Watch this." It's like, "Hey, hold my beer, watch this." And he pops his eyelids upside down, and that's the first time I ever saw him do it. I'm like, "Oh my, what the fuck?" Right? And he walks up to this old teacher and he goes, "Mrs. Millard, there's something wrong with my eyes." And she looked up and she goes, "Oh my God!"
That sounds like something.
I want to go to the nurse's station. And it was funny because as he turns around, he goes, right? He gives us a thumbs up.
Got him something out of class.
It was an English class.
Oh, sweet.
English literature class.
I actually have an English story follow-up on that one. English class follow-up. This is
Well, fire away.
my own personal experience. Now, most of you know that have watched, that know me, I used to have a lot of hair.
Yeah, you had real long hair.
A lot
A shitload of it, too.
Yeah. So back in high school, I had a lot of hair, right? And we were headbangers. You know, of course, that was the thing. You know, this was 85, 86, 87. I graduated in 87. So probably around 86. This was
Wayne's World,
Oh, yeah.
party time, excellent.
Do you ever think we'd have our own Wayne's World
I
going
know,
on?
that's crazy when you said that last week. I laughed. Anyways, go on with your story.
So anyway, we did the headbanging thing.
Uh-huh.
You know, Quiet Riot was real big at that point. Bang your head, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
So the black kids at our school, which we were predominantly black, it was probably 70, 80% black. The black kids used to get a big kick out of us heavy metal kids because they didn't quite understand the whole headbanging thing.
Until Nirvana came along and they said,
Right, and
Dave,
then
Dave
they
Grohl.
right. But at this time,
grunge.
you know, in the mid '80s, it was kind of a fascination on their part.
Sure, okay. I get it.
It was a lot of fun for them
Look
to
at them
watch
dumb
us
ass
do that,
crackers.
you know, right, exactly. So anyway, I had some friends in ROTC and such, and Herb Favors and Fred Houston, who, by the way, became I'll tell you what his position was early, but he had a government law enforcement position, we'll say. Okay. Anyway, they were sitting in back of class and they were going, "Hey, Mike, get over here. Do the headbang thing, man." You know, class hadn't quite started yet. Ms. Bundy was puttering around up at her desk or whatever. And do the headbang thing. All right. Because me and buddy mine, Scott Landers, used to actually headbang. I mean, we would lock hands and crash. right?
Well, that's a little crazy.
My hair sold it.
Well, sure, because you
Right. There was a trick to it. You didn't actually connect
didn't
very
hit, you
hard
didn't,
at all.
Yeah,
You
because the
connected,
hair
but
was
you-
moving.
Right. You connected, but you didn't connect very hard.
Yeah,
You just made it look like you did. And you stomped your foot like pro wrestling.
yeah. No, it's like you go to yes. You open a door and you kick the door and
Right.
hit it with your head and
So
go.
back of the classroom, there's a cinder block wall. Right. They go, hey Mike, go do the headbanging thing, man. Well, Scott's not even in here right now. Do the headbanging thing. All right. So I walk to the back of the class, cinder block wall. There's a bulletin board on it with the almost
Okay.
like clapboard feel to it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Right.
Kink, 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 kink.
Right. So I utilize this. I go to the back wall and hit my hand on it at the same time. They both start freaking out because they think I really connected with it. Wow, my hair's flying, the whole bit. They're freaking out.
The teacher.
Moral of the story is, I got sent to the office
For headbanging.
for headbanging. The assistant principal in charge of discipline took one look at me. She said, "Mr. Duncan, what are you in here for?" Because I was editor of the high school newspaper at that time. She said, "Mr. Duncan, what are you in here for?" I looked at her, kind of grinned. I said, "Headbanging." She goes, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I hit my head on the back of Miss Mundy's wall." She said, "Get out of here."
When in fact he really didn't. He just smacked
I just smacked her with my hand and
Oh, that's funny.
kind of like the
It's
old.
kind of the stupid shit you do when you're 16,
Geez, you are
17.
so young, Susie Q says. Carmen.
At one time, weren't we all?
Right?
Come on,
I don't
Carmen.
feel very young anymore. Yeah, as a heart attack survivor, I don't feel very young anymore.
Yeah. Mm.
Speaking of that, Scott's courtesy paper tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well, heck of a segue.
Right? Came from Abiomed, the company that saved both of our lives.
Yeah.
We actually
Their
hope to
device.
have, speaking of that, I actually hope to have Derek Frazier in here with us soon.
Oh, that'd be fun.
We're still trying to get the set going and figure out exactly how we're doing things. Based on what I'm seeing right here tonight, I think I could easily move this bar stool a little further forward, and we could get a third person in back here where we've got this bench. Probably me or you there, so they don't connect with anything because of how tight it is. But I think we could get a guest in here pretty good.
God, that's good.
Dude, all of it was good.
Yeah, they're all good. I
I'm
just
pleasantly
really.
surprised at that part of it because honestly, I expected. Here, my favorite. I expected the Maker's Mark to burn my damn throat and me be sitting here, talking about, different tastes that I didn't like and stuff like that. So I'm pleasantly surprised at that. The budget whiskeys perform very nicely.
Again, all of these they range in price in this market from $16 to $24.
Yeah. Every one of them under $25.
And you can't. Every one of them is
A winner. I mean, regardless of what we chose as our favorite tonight, if you have a favorite out of these four, let us know.
Yeah. I mean, really, you can't go wrong with any one of those bottles.
Not a single one.
So, all right.
Next week, old fashions.
Old fashions with Ancient Age. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do old fashions with Ancient Age. We'll do a whiskey smash with whiskey smash has got mint and lemon.
So here, Ancient Age. That's our old fashioned.
We'll do a whiskey smash with Makers.
Okay.
We'll do a whiskey sour with the Old Forester.
All right.
And we'll do the Boulevardier with 101 because that's got more. Well, we might switch those two. I don't know yet.
Bye, Carmen. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yep.
Actually.
I think we're going to wrap it up, huh?
Yeah. We're good here. So this are our next 4 weeks lined up for you right there. I'll actually get the recipes together and post those.
We're going to do 5 cocktails though.
5
We'll do 5 weeks because I'm going to bring Rare Breed back
Okay.
to do the Hunter cocktail,
All right.
which is a modern cocktail that was It's come out of Japan. That is stellar.
Here, as far as Jack Daniels goes, everybody always thinks Jack and Coke. As
Yep.
far as that goes, what would you do a cocktail with Jack?
Oh,
Here, this will be week 6. We'll bring Jack back for week 6.
okay. We can do. I mean, because there's.
'Cause
I know
that's the next
exactly.
5
I
in a
know
row.
exactly what we're gonna make.
All right. What are we going to do?
Well, no, maybe not.
You know what? Tease us with it. We'll hold that off. And
I'll think about that because
reveal
there's so
later.
many really good whiskey cocktails. So, Jack doesn't have a lot of proof points, so we don't want to dilute it so
Right.
much.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Very good. We'll see you next week.
Thanks all for tuning in.
That's going to be.
Hey, like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel. Our YouTube
That's
channel
at
is
Whiskey WED Live at YouTube. Also, if you haven't already liked and followed us here on Facebook, where we're doing our cast right now, please do so. And we will see you next week with Ancient Age Old Fashioned.
see ya.
See ya. Bye. We got to do the music thing to play out next time.
I
too.
completely agree.